They no longer necessarily hold that title for Miramar when you look towards maybe Bahumat getting a lot of points on Miramar. Same for Fury, who've got a lot of points on Miramar. I think that's been taken away from Q Confirmed today. And maybe Erangel will be no longer their stronghold either, because they're not that far ahead of the rest of the pack on this map anymore. And there's certainly some opportunities for teams that have turned their competition around here in week 2 to put something pretty interesting on the board here. And one of them, of course, that we have been talking a lot about is Fury. That's not because we're biased Oceanic casts as Xenox. It's just because they have been the best performer today, and there's no question about that.
Oh, I mean, the stats literally say they've been the best team today. Astra's been the third best team today. We can only sort of go off the way that these teams are playing. Interesting circle, phase 1. Always a bit of a tricky one. Can either become a very sort of boring Gatka Fields circle, or it makes it just take the trees near the yellows.
Oh, that's interesting driving for Gearbox. Cerberus got themselves a knock. Rain also getting knocked down here. B2 under a bit of pressure as Day Trade are quite close by. He's given some opportunities. Rain helping out, but it doesn't look like it's going to go too well here for Carnage. Most of the frags are going the way of Day Trade. Ram involved in this mix as well. It's just madness down here towards the southern part of the map.
This is so strange to see this early on, 10 minutes in, and you've got like 3 teams all around here. Daytrade, Ram, Carnage, who were pretty much in the middle of it. Unfortunately for them, Nordra eliminates Monty. Damage numbers and kills. He's been the MVP tonight. If we're just thinking about sort of individual plays, Nikus finds a kill onto Tonke, so it's actually Nikus and Zoidmate, not Extreme. Right. Flash has just been pushed on by God Meow and the rest of Ram. I don't think they were expecting Ram to push over that little ridge.
Ram's kind of fragging out at the moment, Xenox. They're into triple figures as well. The Namsi, oh, that's not the time you want to be getting into the vehicle. God Meow has knocked Levi's. Some shots coming back through from Turtle, which is causing some chaos amongst the ranks for Ram. I think he trades back onto God Meow. It hasn't worked as perfectly as Ram would have liked it to have.
Ram have been in and amongst that so far tonight as a whole. Now, especially here on Erenkel. Eagle Sentinel Shooter will take out Smell and Cerberus's up and down night. Average night, to be fair. Not having their star player continues the trend here on Erenkel. Not really going to change. And Edie should be able to be brought back up. Never mind, at the last second, Nordra's going to be knocked down by Nikki. And Canaxi is the last one standing for Ram United from what was potentially a good start. Now is disaster for the team in second place.
Yeah, just goes to show that you've got to take those chances when they're presented. Divine, when they have 2 players jumping into that Dacia, not moving. Ram only get the 1 knock. If they get both, it's a totally different scenario. Ram runs away with things. Subang is burning alive right now, and he's got Fury players headed in his direction, so I'm not sure that he'll be lasting too much longer. The grenade goes flying through. It's a bit too deep. But Fury certainly know where Subang is.
Yeah, so they've got more than an idea. Although, I'll take that back considering why Kikamuka was looking in the wrong direction. They got an idea, I guess, as to where he was, but not the exact location, yeah. Jordan.
They knew roughly where he was. And that's enough in a situation like that. As long as your spacing is good and your trading is good, which it was for Fury, they're able to deal with Subang. Basil, nowhere to be seen. He's sitting on the coast right now, having a bit of a picnic.
I wouldn't mind having a picnic on the coast right now with the way that 2020's gone so far. There goes Ram United, though, and to, I guess, the joy of everyone who is supporting Q Confirm, whether they're just a fan of the team or the pick'ems. Of course, the team that had brought the gap down, Jordan, to 29 points. You know, that's a very small margin with 7 games to go. Q Confirm have kind of just come to a slow standstill. They're playing so passive. We don't see them really ever make these aggressive plays. They don't breach if they don't have to. They don't move. They don't take fights if they don't have to. They're very controlled. Save from Pachinki Hill. Although, as they push closer and closer towards Golden Cat, that might not be a team that they want to take too lightly. Zoidmate does spot them, and I'm sure more than anything, he does want to find a knockdown or 2 on the victim rides.
Trying to put their damage in. In the meanwhile, Fury's getting into an engagement with Eagle Sentinel shoot.
Fight, really. They're just throwing nades at Victim Rise. That's all that's really happening. They know that they're there, but there's no reason to push over as we head over towards Fury and Eagle Sentinel shot. Whoa!
Yeah. Where? Who?
Venonica's just killed 4 people. I didn't even see. We didn't even really see it.
There's another one.
Down onto inside as well. He looks for 5. Although Waiki Kamukau gets the knockdown onto Veronica, who has just gone on a bit of a killing spree.
That's actually kind of bailed Fury out of trouble. They were trying to deal with trying to deal with Eagle Sentinel Shooter. It was 4-on-4. And Daytrade, the 2 players that are just hiding behind, have bailed Fury out of a pretty rough engagement. And now, cleared out that entire angle because Daytrade's fallen as well. Fury are cheering. They do still have to deal with Bahamut. The IC in front of them as well. So it's not going to be a particularly fun rotation if this circle does shift away from...
It's probably, like, to be fair, they haven't actually had a lot of circle luck tonight. I mean, you know, I think in a couple of the Miramar games, Jordan, we at times mentioned them, you know, like the one where Fury had to sort of push in. They can't find a lot of kills from that position just yet, but maybe later on, as teams come closer to that Pachinki Hill. In saying that, this sort of position, other teams can see them. If they want to shoot at Jowman, for instance, they can. He's open. Not a lot of cover up here. Phase 5, though, and it is a good circle to still have. They certainly are not complaining. Maximus is gone, and so is Golden Cat, who have dropped all the way down to 6. I think they've only picked up, like, 1 point so far tonight or something. They've maybe been the worst performing team of the night so far.
They have picked up 4 points so far tonight, which is not much better, Xenox, but yeah, it's been rough for Golden Cat, and they've gone, as you say, all the way down to 6th. Bahamut. I've lost Shinryuji.
Where's Juicy going?
Well, Fury are just going to try and send it somewhere. I don't know this is going to work. It's not an ideal rotation, obviously having to go through a lot of teams. And yeah, I mean, what could they really do, to be fair? They didn't have any positioning. Dukes is having to hide behind this barrel. And he'll be lucky to survive, lucky to get too much further. I think this might be the first rough game for Fury tonight.
I think it's just a rough game as well for all of the Oceanic teams, really, and even for Bahamut Gaming. Bahamut and the Oceanic teams sort of leaving all their goodwill over at Miramar. This is what I mentioned, though, Jordan. The contrast between the 2 maps, it's night and day for some teams.
That's a nice spray. Oh, it was JN that got the kill.
Slaughter.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of teams that are being forced out of their position by a bit of a hardship. Let's be real, you know, for Fury, for Daytrade there. Like, all these teams that were down on the southern side of the map just don't have anywhere to go because there is nowhere to play from in that field when the circle is on top of the mountain. If there's teams on the mountain, this field, you just can't play from it.
Yeah. Q Confirm have had an amazing circle feed for this game. These open fields, nowhere to really hide. They've got such a high vantage point from that Pachinki Hill. Zoidbait goes up in flames. Victim Rise still have got all 4 players alive. I hate to say it, Jordan, but you kind of maybe were wrong in this case, thinking that they shot themselves in the foot. Yeah. In saying that, they've been very fortunate that these circles have continued in a more northern direction. If it had gone south in any way, then they, of course, would have had to get moving and it would have been a bit more difficult. Only 2 kills for Q Confirmed, and they are going to have to start to sort of change their position here. Gearbox are the ones that do get the Phase 6 feed. The MC is going to be eliminated by Beadora of Gearbox. Malgi Esports and MSC Theraton also getting the sort of the work.
Very well set up for this, Xenox. They are all watching the backside. They knew exactly where MSC was.
This could be the game that really sets them up to really close out this top spot. It's already a gap that is now going to increase against Buriram United. And if they take out MSC as well, it will further increase it against this team in blue. As they now push over the top of this ridge line, that's just going to be slaughter, annihilation against MSC Theraton from Svit, Jowman, and Gems. QC, though, are getting pushed up from Maogi Esports. This is ambitious. Top 1 Sever, though, just gets sat down by the barrel of Gems, and all of a sudden now, teams are basically feeding into Q Confirm and making this sort of a bit of an easier trip for them down to that first place finish in 6 games' time when, of course, everything will be over. Gakon, headshot onto Jayas, sits him down. That's something. But they've only got 2 players standing. 3 up for still Q Confirm. They make it 2 standing, though, for them, Gems and Jowman.
Well, Gearbox and VTR are going to be hoping that Maogi can get a fair bit done here against Q Confirm. If they can finish one more player off, it puts Gearbox and VTR in a much better position, 2-on-4. Q Confirm are being pushed by the zone at the moment. I think Jayers might just survive if he can crawl in. Looks like he might drop. He's very low on HP right now, but Jowman's running over. And he's managed to get it. One tick is what it would have taken there for Jayers to fall, but Q Confirm should get all 3 players up. Gearbox are the ones that have got the circle feed, though. They are in a good position here. They've got that Defilade to play with in front of them. They've cleared the southern side. They know there's no one there. They know where Q Confirm is. They know where VTR is. And they've spotted Chibirit as well. Chin just tapping away with the SLR, and that's some good shots. There goes one for VTR, but I dare say that'll be rezzed.
There's going to be a lot of people in chat who are happy with the way that this game has transpired for Q Confirm. They're not only getting now into the top 4, but they've picked up kills along the way. I mean, yeah, there was a bit of circle feed, but still, Gakon's surely going to go down here to Gems as well. Gems has just been on a mission this game.
Boom.
That's one way to get the elimination. QC get another one. Jowman gets Jet. Eliminates Maogi Esports. They're into the top 3 with still 3 players alive. Victim Rise still sitting up to the north and Gearbox on the other side. Gearbox kind of on a lower elevation here, but Q Confirm are now increasing this gap even more, Jordan. When teams were starting to put pressure on them, when they were closing that gap, 29 points at one point, when it used to be something like 50 at once, now it's just going to be increased once again. So they've answered the call here. They've been playing very well.
Yeah, it was 32 going into this game, and now it's 41. And it might well end up being even more than that if Q Confirm can pull off something pretty special here. It will be tough for them because they'll have to go through VTR and then also deal with Gearbox, who have set up pretty nicely. But see where this next circle shift goes. If it continues to favor Q Confirm, very much possible, particularly if Gearbox has to cross the road, VTR, they have to come out of this valley. I think a lot of it comes down to where Phase 8 ends up.
Just think sort of what's on the line here. If QC win this game, I think they just about win PCS1 APAC. The margin will be closer to 60 than it would 40, with then 6 games to go. That's going to be very difficult for Buriram, Cerberus, Fury, MSC to sort of catch up. They would need multiple 0-point games from Q Confirm. If they go out right now, though, then the gap's still only like 41 with 6 games to go. That's not horrible. But
to be fair, we've seen a few 0-point games today. Well, not 0-point, but rough games for Q Confirm. So
we have.
It's not impossible. But this is stretching the truth a little bit when we say, oh, well, it's kind of possible. I mean, technically, yes, it is. Jayers haven't been knocked by Seymour, so that's at least his second knock now. There goes Gems. Not much else that Q Confirm can do, though. They kind of just have to send it. They've got smokes available at least. They've got to get to one of these trees. Still have to move further from here.
Well, what they really need more than anything is Victim Rise and Gearbox fighting each other and getting so caught up in that fight that then they can kind of sneak forward. But it seems like both teams are very much hell-bent on taking out Q Confirm towards the end of this game, and the pressure's mounting from sort of both sides, Gearbox and Victim Rise. Jowman's been immense again tonight. Q Confirm, when things are going slow, they just find that extra gear, though unfortunately, they just have too many angles to cover. Jowman eliminated by Kamels and Genfos. Jayers will be next in line. It's just a moment in time. So QC will end up on 144 points, Jordan. It didn't get any bigger than that. Very well could have. You know, had they been able to go and get a couple of team wipes, like maybe 4 to 6 kills plus the win, we could have been looking at like a 60-point gap, but it's still only 41 points with 6 games to go. Gearbox, Victim Rise, both teams would be happy to find a win here, but it's not going to increase the chances of, say, top place. Regardless, though, the leaderboard is so close, whoever wins this game may just skyrocket into like the top 6, for instance.
That's Gearbox a massive made.
12 points behind the top 5 right now. You finish off Victim Rise, get the win, and they're into the top 5 potentially. Chibberit stuck at the tree, half health. Camels, the flash not going to connect. Headshot, though, will finish off JN, who was already knocked down by Genfos. So they've got the numbers now, Victim Rise, 4 versus 3.
I like the idea from JN, but he really needed to survive. If you're going to be that solo anchor, you cannot afford to be dropping. This kind of just pushes Gearbox back into a corner, and these 3 players are trying to dance around the smoke. They're going to have to do something special to beat Victim Rise now, who are actually having a really good day. Let's be honest, Xenox. They've got 8 kills here. They had a good game 1 as well. And there's another knock onto Y8. It's all coming up for VTR at the moment.
Chin found one back onto Camels, but Gemforce immediately gets Beardora. Running out of players, running out of time. It'll be a 7-kill second place for Gearbox, but it will then, of course, now be an 11-kill win for Victim Rise.